Hey, what's up everybody? Nick here. I have another ranking video for you guys today. Today I'm going to rank my favorite chase sequences in the Halloween franchise. Look, it's no secret that slasher movies and chase sequences go hand in hand. Usually what happens is you have a killer who is killing all these teenagers until there's one left, and then a chase occurs. And the Halloween franchise is no different. So I'm going to be ranking my top chase sequences in the entire franchise. So let's see who comes out on top. Alright, so like I said, chase sequences and slasher movies, are tied together. And there's a lot of great ones in this Halloween franchise. So I have my top 5 favorite scenes, and also 2 honorable mentions. So let's start right off with the honorable mentions. First honorable mention is going to come from Halloween 2018, and that is going to be Allison versus the Shape. And the reason I put this on the list is I love the track. You guys have heard me say this before, but I love the track. The Shape hunts Allison. You get Allison who hears Oscar. Is he screaming or something like that? And she goes and she sees him impaled on the fence. And then you get that awesome track come in and she starts running around. The reason I couldn't put this any higher though is for some dumb reason the movie cuts it off and it kind of stops the chase before it really begins and really before it ramps up. So I wanted to put it on the list. I wanted to at least mention it just because of the great track and the great potential that I saw in this scene. But I obviously can't put it, in the top 5 because they lost their minds and didn't give us what they could have given us. So it's an honorable mention. I still like the scene, but can't put it any higher. My second honorable mention is going to be the truck sequence from Halloween 4, 1988. So this is at the end of the movie. And you guys remember, you got Michael climbing aboard the truck from, I guess, underneath the truck. He dispatches 3 or 4 of the rednecks, and then he kills Earl by, grabbing his throat and tearing his throat apart. And then you get the great scene with, Rachel kicking him out of the truck, literally, and then, driving with Michael hanging on the top. It's a great scene. Doesn't really fit too much in the MO of the Shape, but I do like the scene. It provides some tension, and I wanted to at least mention it, even though it's technically not a chase per se, because they're both on the same vehicle. But I like the scene, and I wanted to include it, at least in the honorable mentions. So let's get into the top 5. Coming in at number 5 is going to be the very end of Halloween 2, 1981. And this is after Michael slits the marshal's throat, and you got Loomis and Laurie kind of running through the hospital trying to get away from him. What I like about this scene is, they're going through doors and, they're stopping after every door, and Loomis is kind of looking through, the little windows they have there, and then you see Michael come through the next door, and then all of a sudden they run out of room. And there's a lot of tension, the track really amps up here, and just great music. Alan Howarth did a great job on this, and just the tension of them, running out of room to run and just having to kind of put up a final stand, so to speak, against the Shape. So I like the scene. I couldn't put it any higher just because I like all the other ones more, but a great ending to this movie and a great final chase scene. And I love the expression on Loomis's face when the marshal's throat gets slit. Loomis is just kind of like, oh. And, Laurie kind of grabs him like, let's go, let's get out of here. So cool scene. It's at number 5. Coming in at number 4, shocker alert right here, guys. Shocker. Brace yourselves. Halloween 5. Yes, a scene from Halloween 5. And this is going to be the laundry chute sequence. Probably the most tension in this movie. not probably, for me, it does have the most tension. You got Michael killing the cop, Jamie running to another room, and she knows Michael's after her. So she's obviously a child, so she fits in the laundry chute, and she's kind of hanging. She's hanging on the handle from inside, and Michael tries opening it. He opens it, and then she falls. And you got the great camera shot of her falling and Michael kind of looking down the laundry chute, and then boom, she hits the bottom, but she's stuck in there. So you get this great tension of, them showing Michael slowly walking down the stairs and her in there. And then he starts stabbing the laundry chute. And Jamie's screaming and she's kind of climbing up. She's kind of using the knife as Michael's stabbing through the laundry chute. She's using the knife kind of as leverage to kind of kick up. And interesting tidbit from here is Danielle Harris, I think, actually did get stabbed, not horribly, but she got stabbed while they were doing this stunt here. So that's kind of crazy. It just shows you how dangerous it was to even film the stunt, let alone the actual scene if it was real. So a lot of tension in this scene. I'm praising H5 here. I must be sick today, guys. But I mean that. They did a good job with this scene, and I have no problem giving H5 credit where credit's due. Unfortunately for us and the movie, there's not much credit to give it. But I will give them credit for this. They did a good job with this scene. So it comes in at number 4 for me. All right, number 3, we're going to go back to Halloween 2, 1981. And this is going to be the first chase between Michael and Laurie. I love this scene. This scene scared the death out of me when I saw it when I was a kid. Laurie's walking through the hallway, still kind of hopped up on drugs. She's still got a fucked up shoulder. She's still got a fucked up ankle or leg from falling down the stairs, which we'll get to why. And Michael stabs the nurse. Is it Janet? Yeah, stabs the nurse, lifts her up, and Laurie's just like, oh my god. And then you hear the Halloween theme kick in, the Halloween 2 theme kick in, and she's off. She's running. She's pushing carts to slow Michael down, even though he's just kind of walking like a zombie. She, of course, ends up down in the basement. You got that, a terrible shot of Michael walking down the stairs, just staring straight up. So unlike H1. But, she gets to the basement. She runs into, what's his name? The security guard, Garrett, right? Yeah. She runs into his body hanging there, and then she's kind of trapped, but she's able to climb over this wall that's maybe like 7 feet high, 8 feet high. Maybe it's not that high. Maybe it's 6 feet. And as Michael's kind of grabbing her legs, and then she gets over that, kind of falls down, and Michael has to walk around again, and then she gets in the elevator, and Michael's slowly walking towards the elevator as she's frantically hitting I think she's hitting the door close button, right? But yeah, and then you get Michael with the scalpel, put his scalpel, and the door kind of closes on his hand and then shuts. Now, that is not what an elevator would do. We all know that. Even if this is taking place in 78, I don't think that an elevator would still do that. But the tension of the scene is great. Being trapped in the basement with nowhere to go. It's the first time her and the Shape have seen each other since the events that happened earlier that night in the OG. So just a great chase sequence. I've always loved it. Like I said, it really scared the shit out of me as a kid. So that's why it's at number 3. All right, top 2, people. Coming in at number 2 is going to be the Rooftop Chase from Halloween 4. And I'm including the whole sequence with Brady, basically right when the Shape walks into the room and you got Laurie and Rachel and Brady there. I'm including that whole sequence as they walk up the stairs. Michael obviously dispatches of Brady in a cool scene. And then you got Rachel and Jamie kind of throwing boxes down the stairs to the attic, yelling, "Leave us alone!" And Michael's kind of slowly getting through there. And then they're kind of trapped in the dark attic. And, Rachel's trying to open the window, and you see Michael grab a knife. Why is there fucking a thing of knives in the attic? Whatever. But anyway, so Rachel and Jamie gets on Rachel's back. She climbs up the roof. You get the tension of Rachel kind of grabbing for the top, and she slips and falls and catches themselves on the chimney. And then so she's climbing back up, and then all of a sudden, boom, you see Michael up there. Now, I don't like how they showed him getting up to the top, he kind of throws his leg up over, and it just looked very awkward to me. But then he stands up, and you got the cool scene of him swiping down at Rachel and Jamie falling down to the chimney, and Rachel kind of diving out of the way, or rolling out of the way, I guess. And then she starts lowering Jamie down. She's, well, try, damn it. It just perfectly encapsulates why we love Rachel and why she was such a great character. So she lowers Jamie down. Jamie kind of falls the last few feet because Michael's attacking Rachel, and Rachel kind of falls. Then Rachel falls down herself. So really cool scene, a lot of tension. You've never seen anything like this in a Halloween movie before, and probably since. Just with Michael being on the fucking roof. But cool scene. Fun fact, they actually wanted to film this scene with the whole house on fire, but there were budgetary concerns for that. That would have been fucking cool. That might have ramped it up. Probably not, but it might have ramped it up even higher on my list. But as it is, it doesn't get much higher than number 2. Coming in at number 1, no surprise here, guys. I wanted to surprise you. I wanted to, think outside the box here and come up with reasons why this should not be number 1, but I can't. We got the final chase scene in the OG between Michael and Laurie, and this basically starts with one of the most classic shots in the series and in horror, with Michael, the mask slowly emerging from the darkness of the stairs of the when Laurie's upstairs at the Wallace house. He takes a swipe at Laurie, gets her shoulder, she falls down the stairs, and you look up and she sees Michael standing there. And this time they do the stairs right. He kind of jogs down the stairs, and this whole sequence is just an amazing scene. You could probably call a few of these sequences their own chase scenes, but I'm including it all in one just because it's so iconic. So then she locks the door to the kitchen, and Michael punches through the door. He's got the back door like braced with a rake. Laurie has to break the window and get out of there, and then she runs to the neighbor's house, yelling, help me, and then, the lights turn on, and then they turn off, what are you doing? So, of course, she runs over to the Doyle's house, and then you get the keys, and then, throws the plant up, Tommy, and Tommy's half asleep, and she gets in, get upstairs, do as I say, and then, she goes down with the knitting needle, and she sees the fucking window, open. And then, she grabs the needle, and Michael comes down from the couch. And you guys know all this, but I just love describing it. Comes down from the couch. She stabs him in the neck. He pulls it out and falls down. And then for some reason she drops the knife. But that was before all these tropes came in with horror movies. She comes upstairs telling the kids it's okay, and then you get Tommy saying you can't kill the boogeyman, and then you see him standing there by the stairs. One of the best shots ever of Michael is standing up the stairs there. And then you get the famous closet sequence, which is just obviously probably within the top 2 or 3 iconic moments of the franchise. She stabs him again, stabs him in the eye with the hanger, stabs him in the chest with the knife, walks over him, tells Tommy and Lindsay to go to the Mackenzie's house, and then boom, he sits up in the background. My God, imagine being in the theater for this. Like, this is all one fucking chase scene. This is unbelievable, guys. This is unbelievable. If you're watching this video, you guys know all this. You know how great this is. But man, I just can't stop talking about it. It is unbelievable. And then, he starts choking Laurie, and she lifts the mask up, and then Loomis to the rescue, my friends. Loomis to the rescue, shoots him 6 times, falls off the balcony, and he kills him, right? No, he's gone. You can't kill the boogeyman. So that's my number 1 chase sequence, guys. I know that is not surprising to any of you that know me, but I just had to share that. So let me know, what are your guys' top favorite chase sequences? I know a lot of times you guys do such a good job reminding me of things on this list, or making me think, oh yeah, you're right about stuff. So I'd love to know what you guys think of some chase sequences that I should have included, or that you would maybe include in your honorable mentions. Do you like another chase sequence better than the one from the OG? Do you like something from Halloween Resurrection? Let me know. Appreciate you guys watching. Take care.